If you have stumbled upon this podcast, it's not by chance. I'm Alex, and I'm so excited for you to join me in each episode as I dive headfirst into the highs, lows, and utterly wild twists of my life. I take you on my journey to feeling fully aligned and unapologetically myself. I'm here to show you that everything in life happens for a reason and nothing is by chance. Let's get into today's episode. Welcome back to Not By Chance. I am your host, Alex Manstead. Thank you for joining me in today's episode number 7. It's been a while, actually. It's been probably about a month or so since I recorded my last episode, which was all about body image and just all to do with my own journey with my body and my health. But yeah, a lot has happened in the last month on its own, but also a lot has happened in the last 6 months of my life. If you go back and listen to other episodes, you will see that I've been detailing my journey, a lot to do with growth and personal development, energetics, spirituality, and I have just been really kind of sharing my story and the lessons that I have learned throughout my life so far. I am 34 years old and, plenty more life to go, but I feel like I have been through some things and gained a lot of insight and lessons and wisdom that I feel like I really enjoy sharing with the world. And in turn, I've noticed such a return of connection from lots of people who reach out. So if you are listening to this and something resonates, I want to hear from you. Please feel free to message me anytime. I'm probably best found on Instagram, and feel free to message anytime because I love hearing the insights and the things that land for you when you listen to my podcast. So, and thank you for being here because it means a lot to me. Having a podcast was a decade-long dream for me. So the fact that I'm here and, we're episode 7 in, honestly, it just makes my heart so happy. This could have been a one-shot deal for me. I could have done it and just never done it again, but I'm really happy to be sticking through it and I'm really enjoying it. I love recording. I love communication. I love talking. I enjoy communicating with other people, conversing. And I feel I really enjoy sharing parts of my life, especially if it's going to help somebody else. That's always been something that, for my better or worse, I can sometimes be a little bit of a fixer, and it's something I've learnt to not do. And I really love passing on the lessons and the information that I gain throughout my life and helping other people. So I quickly will set up where I am right now. So if you hear a bit of background noise, it is because I'm recording this on my porch in my beautiful cottage in Byron Bay, and it is raining. We've just gone through Cyclone Alfred. Basically, we weren't hit by it, but we were hit by all of the symptoms of Cyclone Alfred. So it's still raining here, and I'm sitting by a beautiful tree. And I'm on my porch looking at this insane view. If you follow me on Instagram at Alex Manstead, I post my view often because I'm obsessed with it. And honestly, I have been calling in this view for so freaking long, over a decade, and I'm here. I have manifested and called in something that I have been dreaming of for a really long time, and therefore I am absolutely going to share it with the world and feel grateful for it every single day. Yeah, today's episode is going to be a bit of a life update, and as you just heard me say, I love passing on the insights and the information that I get that might help someone else. I listen to podcasts all the time, every single day, and I get so much out of them. And I guess this is my way of paying it forward to the world of just, the things that I learn and how can I pass that on? Because I feel every single person has a story to tell. Every single person has information that they are gathering in their day-to-day. And even just with my best friends, when we are telling each other things about our life and the lessons we've learnt recently, I always get so much out of it. So it's probably why I'm so passionate about having a podcast that shares insights and information. And yeah, I'm so passionate about content in general, keeping us going, especially for people who are super growth driven like myself. We're going along this journey and we're really trying to build our dream life. That's, realistically what we're doing. It's what I'm doing. And there are days where I just do not feel connected to what I'm trying to build in my life, or I'm just riddled by fear or in my own head. And honestly, I can listen to a podcast and it will just snap me out of it straight away. So I am very passionate about content in general, helping people through their life. So anyway, that's enough about that. But yeah, I have no notes. Well, I wrote a little bit, but I am not looking at them at all. I just wanted this to be quite raw, and yeah, it's why I'm sitting here in my activewear, no makeup. I've got my tea here. And actually, that's where I should start. So right now I am doing a 5-day fast. So I'm 2 days in. And I'm doing, a 5-day fast, all water only. And I started it obviously it was Friday, 2 p.m. So I finished Wednesday, 2 p.m. And I'm not going to go into the details of why I'm doing it, all the benefits, because I'm going to keep that as a separate either episode or an Instagram post or something like that about my experience with the fast. But I guess why I'm doing it, it's absolutely for the health benefits. And there are so many with fasting, which I will definitely share. But also because I am in a stage of my life where I am stepping into the woman who has exactly what I want in the future. And that part of that is really honing in on the habits, the mindset, the daily practices that my future self has, that has all of the things that I'm going after. And I guess it's beautifully prefacing this episode, because that is what I have spent the last 6 months in particular doing. I mean, I've spent the better part of a decade really working on things and bettering myself, I guess, to get to this vision in my mind. I am a Capricorn and I have a Capricorn stellium, and anyone who knows astrology knows that means I love to climb. I love to go after things. I'm very ambitious, very driven, and yeah, I'm a dreamer as well. And I have this beautiful dream, clear vision in my mind of what I want for my life. I'm not holding on to it for dear life, because that is what I'm learning is so beautiful about life. It just likes to flow and take you in ways that you never imagined would bring even more. And it's actually, when I go through the update of where my life has been the last 6 months, it's proof of that, of when I've let go and allowed myself to just go with it. Basically, that's where the most magic has happened. And so yeah, I do have this vision for my life and I'm clear on it. However, how that happens and if that alters, I don't know, I just keep repeating in myself, it's this or something better, always. And it has honestly always been what I envisioned or something better. And the something better is what is blowing my mind, especially lately. But anyway, so to go back to the fast, I'm doing the 5 days, and part of that is really about, I feel when we do challenges like this, we do hard things, it really does create such a level of self-confidence that it just takes you to another level. I'm also doing the Jolie Dawn Dare to Prosper Challenge next week. That starts on Monday and it goes for 10 days. And it's basically, I've done it, this will be my 4th year in a row. It's incredible. It is a bunch of hypno meditations, all centered around prosperity, money, and then you have daily activities, basically to heal your wounds with money and prosperity and worthiness. And it is incredible. It is so beautiful. And every time I do that each year, it just sends me into another level. I just feel like I level up and I am so ready to keep building the things that I am calling in. And also I connect to myself on a deeper level, because yes, I am very driven and this is all, I have these ambitions and I have these goals and things that I am looking towards. However, more than anything, it really is for me about connecting to myself on a deeper level as well. So I really feel that these things, they always just help me to tap into myself. I feel another level and another layer with myself. Whenever I do these things, I just feel another level unlocked. I feel like this connection to myself that I've never felt before. And ultimately, I just feel more self-love, more compassion, more confidence, and life just becomes even easier and more enjoyable. So doing hard things, it's a weird concept. It's a bit of an oxymoron. Doing something hard, it makes life easier. It does. So anyway, let me get into a bit of the life update. Let me take you back. As you would have known if you've listened to my other podcasts, I was diagnosed with breast cancer in September 2023, and I was declared cancer-free in March 2024, and then I finished full treatment as of November 2024. So, and for me, realistically, I finished radiotherapy and the hard the hard stuff in June 2024. So from June, actually, it's not even from June, realistically, throughout the whole cancer chapter and treatment, I really did a lot of writing. I did a lot of reflection and review of my life. And ultimately what I did was do a life audit. And I am so passionate about life auditing, and I'll get into what that looks like for me. But the reason why I'm so passionate about it is if you are somebody who is not happy with where you're at, if you look at your life and there are things that are off, you just don't feel like you're where you want to be, you feel like you have more to give, you feel like you have more potential to tap into, you know that there is a greater version of yourself, a greater life ahead of you, and you maybe just don't know how to get there. Like, where do I even start? Starting with a life audit is, I feel, the best step that you can take, because it really taps you into all the different areas of your life. And because it can be really overwhelming when you're looking at your life and you're like, why do I feel off? Or what is it that I'm not happy with? When you break it down really to all the different areas of life and really go through and audit them, you start to get really incredible clarity. And that clarity then allows you to take the next steps. I don't feel that you can have aligned action or any kind of action in your life without having the clarity first. The clarity is the first step. So when I was going through treatment, I was doing lots of writing, I was doing a lot of reflecting, and I really went through every area of my life, from money to relationship to just every area. Relationship, money, what else? Relationship, money, spirituality, health, which included, mental health, spiritual health, physical health, business and career, what else? There's a million areas, right? And you get to pick what those areas are. What are your areas of importance, really? So I was journaling a lot about each area and understanding, like, what am I happy with? What is not where I want it to be? And why is it not where I want it to be? And why do I want those things? Without going crazy about it, because I think sometimes, and I know I do this often, and it's something I am really trying not to do. Sometimes I question myself too much, and I question my desires too much. So for example, like, there's things that I want in my future, and because I've done so much therapy and I've done so much growth work, sometimes I'm always trying to get to, like, the root of why I feel that way. And sometimes it's just not needed. Sometimes I just desire the things I want, and it's just about allowing myself to accept that and enjoy that. So anyway, that's a little random offside tangent. So yeah, I came out, so by basically June, I came out of realistically the heavy treatment, and I slowly got back into life. I'm not gonna lie, life after cancer, like, I thought the cancer and the treatment was gonna be the really hard bit, and of course it had its challenges and it was very hard, but it was life after cancer for me that felt harder. And I think it's probably my own fault, because I wished, and not just wished, but actively sought after certain things, and I think my life it felt like it went on its own head, and I went through a major shedding. And I called this in, like, sitting there journaling. When I look at the things that I have been calling in and, and have been tapping into and understanding and reflecting, I realized I have called this in. So to take you through that time, and I say we because it's Al and I feel like he went through the cancer just as much as I did. So we came out of the cancer chapter and we were like, right, what are we doing with our life? We'd really been in a maintenance mode for the past 12 months, just realistically supporting me through the cancer, and that was really it. He's got two businesses, or he had two businesses, and I will get into that. He had two businesses, and one of them he was just kind of keeping going, and we realistically, in terms of money and stability through that year, we just did what we could to keep going. It wasn't about growth that year. It wasn't about building or doing too much. It really was about resting our health and just focusing on getting me cancer free and picking up the pieces of our life. And that is what it felt like. It really felt like the last 6 months of picking up the pieces of our life, but in a really intentional way of, like, what stays and what goes. And I think it was so powerful to sit there and look at our lives from a high level and just go, what is important to us? What are our values? we know, like, we've always had these visions of where we're going in life, but like, what do we have to do to actually get there? For Al and I, a big goal and a big vision for us is how we spend parenthood. And I'll speak more for myself here. Like, I have goals of how I want to spend motherhood, and I really want to spend it being as present as I possibly can. So therefore, setting up our life now, because it is still a few years away from parenthood for both of us. One, I actually, like, doctors have advised me not to have children for the next couple of years, just in case reoccurrence did happen or something would happen. Yeah, just in case something did happen during the next couple of years. If I got pregnant, like, I can't do chemotherapy, I can't do anything really that would harm the baby. It would just make everything a lot difficult. And 3 years is the mark where my risk of reoccurrence goes down to almost zero, is what I understand it to be. And yeah, so realistically, we've got 2-3 more years before we really start thinking about it. Or not start thinking about it, but you know what I mean? Start trying and getting into that stage of our life. So for us, we're like, we've got this great opportunity. We've got a couple of years. Let's go, quote unquote, hard. Let's build what we want and enjoy parenthood how we want, and aim for these things and how we want to spend those years. And part of that for us is how we set up our businesses, how we set up our finances. So basically, when we came out of the cancer chapter, we were like, what do we need to do in order to get to this place? We first got crystal clear on what it actually looks like for us with parenthood. So for example, some of the things that this is like not the only stuff, but some of the stuff is that we want to hire help. We want to be able to hire help, and whatever that looks like, a house mum, a house manager, whatever it is, we want to be able to hire people to help us during that time, because it does take a village. I have many besties who have babies. I know what it's like. I can see what it's like. I know the struggles that they go through. We of course have family and things like that to help, but we're really passionate about hiring the help that we want around our children. And yeah, so that is like a really big goal for us and a purpose of why we're setting up our lives the way we are. And part of that was really looking into, where are we not stepping up in our life? Like, if we want these things, where in our life are we not acting now as if we have it in the future? And what I mean by that is, I'm sure you've heard of the concept of, especially it's more to do with manifestation, but it's just in general, like building your dream life, acting as if you have the thing now. So how would we take care of our finances as the people in the future that has these things that we want? So if we want to have financial freedom to be able to do these things that we want, how do they take care of their money? How do they manage their money? What are their habits? What are the things that they do? And that is what we did. We broke down exactly what it looks like to be that person. And we have studied and researched and been mentored by so many different people. And like, I hired a business and life coach. Shout out to Shani. She has been incredible in this up-leveling of my life. And and what she brought to not only my life, but for Al as well, we just learnt so much. And that was part of the plan, was hiring people who have done it before us and who are living the life that we want. How do they do it? And teach us. So that wasn't the only mentor we had during that time, and still have now. We've read a lot of books, it's all out there. That's what's beautiful about it. A lot of this information is either free or it's out there. And it's again why I'm so passionate about this podcast, because sharing this information is so key and important. And I will do an episode breaking down, I guess, the resources and the things that have really helped us to move to this next level. And I will detail out the different areas of life, because I think that, again, that's paying it forward. And, we have spent money and time on learning these things, and I feel good about passing them on to others who are also ready and in that space where they're like, I am so ready to step up and move into that place as well. So yeah, I'm very happy to share that sort of stuff. So yeah, I guess we sat back and we were just like, what do we need to do? Who do we have to become? And it's been, since then, a series of different actions and moves that have been towards our greatest goals and our greatest vision. And it has not been easy. I'm not gonna lie, it's been hard at times, because when you ask the universe for things, when you put out there what you want, it will give you lessons and tests, and it will give you what you want. So for example, even financially and with business, so much happened during that time, and it was so stressful. It was so stressful. Having financial instability is one of the most stressful things that you can go through, especially after going through cancer and having health issues and things like that we were dealing with. Then to have, to rebuild finances, to tap back in, like, it was really hard at times, and we felt a lot of stress. And then that stress also came into our relationships. So we did also do couples coaching during that time, which has been incredible. We basically just looked at every area of our life and have up-leveled it. And if we didn't know how, we hired a mentor or bought the book or listened to the podcast. And it really has just been this series of, almost feels like we've been walking down this path and just learning new things as we go along, gaining new insights, and it's just slowly been up-leveling us. That's the only way I can put it, is the word up-level. With every shift, with every challenge, with every feeling of stress, on the other side of it was more of what we wanted. And it also comes down to, and I am going to be really annoying here, but the mindset. And it's why I've called my podcast Not By Chance, because Not By Chance is a mindset. It is all about seeing life as not happening by chance. These things do not happen by chance, and it is perfectly designed to help you, and I truly do believe this, to help you reach full alignment and feeling truly in your own, and feeling truly connected to your own life and to your own self. And I think when we go on the journey of listening to the things that happen in our life will just take you there. You will flow there. And sometimes it won't be easy, which is what the last 6 months for us, it has been chaotic. It has been full on. It has been stressful. It has been beautiful and challenging. And every single time, it's just been more and more of what we want. So for example, going through, the business stress that we went through, and I'm saying we because I have been helping Al with his business as well, and it basically got to a point where we were like, is this even what we want anymore? And we had to do this massive reflection of, and it was mainly Al obviously because it was his business, and he's given me permission to share this, by the way, but it was very much a sitting back of like, is this even what we want anymore? And it was really difficult because we had this vision in our mind of what this business and what was going to come from this business, and that was the vision we already had. We had the plans for that business and the things that were going to come from that way. So we basically have let go. So he has shut down that business and selling it, and he's now, and it's just crazy because, no joke, the day that he decided to shut down that business, his best friend called him with a business opportunity that he has wanted to, that he has a lot of passion and purpose in, and now that's what he's pursuing. And I will give a little bit, I know I'm being a little bit cryptic, mainly because that business hasn't launched yet, and it's something he doesn't want to share yet, so I'm being really respectful with what he wants to share. He's allowed me to say some of these things on the podcast. He loves also, sharing insights, but until he feels ready to share it, I'm obviously not going to be the one to spill the beans. But this business does bring him so much passion and purpose and excitement. I just see him working on it every day. And even previous to the business he was working on, it was really hard because I could tell he was so burnt out and he was trying so hard to make it work, but it just wasn't what he wanted to do, really, ultimately, once he sat back and looked at it. So the choice to shut that down was really difficult because it was tied to so much of our planning, but also our finances as well. Shutting that down meant, what are we going to do? What are we going to do? How are we going to make money? Jesus. So anyway, it was very stressful, but what I'm so excited to share about it, what has been on the other side has just been on another level. Like I said, I'm sitting here in Byron Bay recording this episode. Within a month, we basically decided to move to Byron because that's where this business opportunity is. And we landed this insane, beautiful, I'm looking around because I'm just so grateful, this incredible cottage. I say little, it's not even little, cottage with the most incredible view. It is just we've got countryside and then ocean. And the price of this, we've ended up paying less for this place than we were our previous place. We are 15 minutes or 10 minutes from town, so we get to go in and enjoy the vibe of Byron, but then come back to our little countryside cottage. Like, it just, honestly, I could not have, it has exceeded anything that I was dreaming, and I was dreaming of this place, and it has exceeded everything that I was dreaming. And part of moving to Byron for me, like, and I will get into what I'm building and what I am going towards, but a big part of it was putting myself around more people who are doing similar things to me, and I guess in more alignment. I have some beautiful best friends in my life, and it's not that they're out of alignment, but I just want more people in my life that are doing the same things as me, going towards the same things, building the same things, putting myself in the arena of that energy, because that to me is the most motivating thing. Already since moving here, because there are so many people here so focused on their health, their wealth, and their happiness. I always say that because it just covers off everything. And already being in that energy has motivated me so much more. So I'm a huge advocate for being around people who make you feel not just like you and not just seen and heard for who you are, but they are motivating that future version of yourself. They are, I have a best friend who's also doing social media. Every time she posts, I'm just like it inspires me and it sparks me up. And being in that energy, when I'm having a day where I'm like, oh, I don't know if I want to post, or it's not even that I don't want to post, but I'm in my head that I'm doubting myself, I'm doubting my mission, I'm doubting the reasons I'm doing this. Whenever I see her stuff, I'm like, yes, I'm on it. Like, even today, she has inspired me because we were chatting a lot in voice clips, and she inspired me, and I was like, I had like the response of like, I want to record my podcast. I want to record this episode today. And I was like, I don't care, how it looks, whatever. That's why it's raw. I've got no makeup on. I was like, I'm just going to sit down and do a chatty episode, give them the life update, talk about the life audit that I did. And yeah, honestly, I feel really good doing this and to go back to the point, being around people who provoke that in me, because this is something I'm deeply passionate about. This is something that I'm doing that brings so much purpose and love and connection to my life. Not doing it, and sometimes there are days where I get in my own head. There's a dragonfly. See, this is the fun of recording outside. Fly away, little dragonfly. Honestly, being in this place, it feels like just magical. Everywhere I look, there's like a frog around the corner, this lime green frog hanging out on our porch. There's dragonflies everywhere. Anyway, I'm going to stop going on about it, but it's beautiful and I'm very, very grateful to be here. So anyway, what was I saying? But yeah, I guess what I'm trying to get to the point of saying is that being around people who are doing the things that you want to do, building the life that you want to live, it's so important, and it just brings so much to your life to help you along the way. It's again why podcasts I feel are so important, audiobooks or just reading the books, going to the workshop, going to the event, doing those things that help keep us motivated and in the energy of the things that we are going towards. Because that is truly what manifestation is about. And I will do an episode about my journey with manifestation and what it is to me and how I've experienced it. And it really is about putting yourself in the energy of the things that you are going towards. So for me, I am calling in even more expansion and vastness and limitlessness and gratitude and love and connection. So there's so many parts of that. When I'm around people who are also in that energy, I just feel so lit up. So part of moving to Byron was about putting myself around people like that. I already had some friends living here, and Al has some friends living here. So we kind of already knew what to expect in that way. And honestly, since coming here, I've already started to chat to girls who are in a similar space to me, people who are just doing the same things. That the conversations I'm having are just lighting me up so much, and I feel like I've been attracting more and more people. It's not to say where I was didn't have those people, and I admittedly did not look hard enough where I was living. I was living on the Central Coast, and I was really lucky to call in a friend that I met on the Central Coast. So I don't think you have to move somewhere specific to find your people, but I do think you have to put in the aligned action to call those people in. And I'm going to do an episode about making friends in your adult years, because I can say this with confidence, I'm very good at making new friends. I've got 3 new best friends over the last however many years. And yeah, there is a level of action that you have to take in order to nurture a new friendship. So I want to talk about about that, because I think there's a lot of people out there who struggle with making friends in their adult years. And I've been really successful at calling in and nurturing some great relationships. And that was a bit of a tangent again, but to go back to it, I did make a couple of friends on the Central Coast who did make me feel lit up and bring that energy into my life. And I guess now with this opportunity, Al just had this business opportunity and he was like, you know what, like, how would you feel about it? And I was like, let's just do it. Like, Byron is so beautiful. I am so excited to explore the surrounding areas, even more up north in Queensland, and just, yeah, get to know this area even better. Anyway, Byron's great. I am absolutely loving it. Yeah, I just feel like my outer world now is exactly where I've been trying to get it to, in terms of like where I live, even just my daily routine, just all of the things that I feel I've been trying to call in again, trying to become the woman who has the things that I have. I feel I'm that woman now. And yes, true to Capricorn spirit, I'm now going after that next level. I am. And therefore there are some daily actions that I'm going to be doing that help to call in that version of myself as well, and to connect with that version of myself. Part of that is even recording this podcast. I have big dreams for this podcast, and it's not going to get itself there. It takes me doing the action. It takes me sitting down and recording, even though all of the limiting beliefs and the fears pop in of like, who am I to do this? No one's gonna listen, blah, blah, blah. But I'm doing it anyway because I believe in myself. I really do. I believe in myself, and I also am just enjoying this, and I'm going with the feeling of excitement and joy. So what else can I tell you? So we moved to Byron. That was that update. We have shut down, and Al is selling his business to then, obviously, he's now launching another business. And so what about me, and what am I doing to make money? Well, I'm very excited to share this actually, and it's going to be a podcast all on its own because there's just so many lessons and so much insight that came from this. But I don't know if anyone listening to this would remember the business name Atria. But Atria is back, guys. So I started a business in 2020, which was all around personal development, health, and just building your dream life. And that is what I'm about, in case you haven't noticed. I am all about growth and basically just, I guess, connecting to yourself more. I guess that is what I am all about, is how do we connect to ourselves on a deeper level, come home to ourselves, and live the life of our dreams. You know, the life that is just sitting on our heart, that makes us feel so lit up. We know it's meant to be ours, but how do we get there? And that is what I am obsessed with talking about. Just anything to do with growth, anything to do with anything that kind of gets in our own way. I am very passionate about breaking down and unpacking and how do we get there. And it's why I have, spent so many years focused on personal development and focused on myself and elevating these things So Atria was very much a dream of mine, and I actually shut it down. I let it go because at the time was when I was diagnosed with the PMDD. You can go back and listen to other episodes about it. And that was when I was just not feeling great. And it was not the time to be trying to work full-time, starting a business, doing all the things. It just was not the time, so I shut it down. However, Atria is back, guys. I'm very excited to say. So the last 6 months for me has really been spent focused on self-exploration. Who am I? What do I want? What am I building? What is that beautiful, bold dream that I'm going after? And that is why I hired Shani. I hired her pretty much straight out of the cancer, and it was pretty much like, you know, how can I explore myself deeper? And Shani just helped me to get there. She helped me to explore myself on another level than I ever have before. She has some incredible tools, from astrology to human design. There's a million and one things. And she just really helped me to understand myself, what I want and what I'm going towards for this next chapter of really building that out. And setting down, and I use this analogy with Al, and I use this analogy. The place we were in prior to the cancer, it's like cancer came into our life and it just made us super aware and audit our life and make us super aware of where in our life we're not exactly happy and where exactly, you know, we need to put focus and up level. It's the only word I have for it. And it was then about building that out, as I said. And so for me, it was exploring, what do I want to build? So I'm doing my podcast, Not by Chance. That is obviously something that is very purposeful to me. And I have big dreams and big plans for where I want this to go. And I guess part of it as well is social media and content. I really love making content. I really love sharing my story. I really love meeting new people through social media and having so many incredible conversations and meeting like-minded people. So social media has also been a part of that, of building that out. But a big question mark, especially with working with Shani, that came up is like, how do I want to make money out of this though? How do I want to turn this into something that feels like it's me? And so I'm still exploring exactly what that looks like in terms of social media. I think I want to do more events. And if you go to my Instagram, you'll see that I did an event earlier this year, my first women's event. And that was incredible. I love leading a room. And even in my corporate career, I've always loved that. So it makes sense why I really enjoy it. I really get so much out of bringing people together. It is one of my favorite things to do, whether it's like hosting a dinner party or hosting a personal development girls get together. Like that, it's one of my favorite things to do. And so that is something I'm calling in more of this year is more events. And then to go back to Atria, and basically what I've decided to do in order to have an income is go back to what my past career was, which was insurance. However, going back and being an employee in insurance didn't sit right with me. Being an employee now in general does not sit right with me. I've basically worked for myself, obviously working for Al, but also doing my social media, my podcast. I have treated that as if that is my own business, and I just cannot go back to working for somebody else anymore. I have always wanted my own business, and I've always wanted to work solely for myself. So going back to working for someone else, if I had to do it, I would. But for me, I wanted to find a way that I can do this on my own terms. And again, that is something I'm so passionate about, is living life on my own terms and for other people. How can they live their life on their own terms? So I basically decided to start up Atria Services and Solutions, and basically I'm doing contract work 3 days a week for a insurance company, and I'm helping them. Basically, I'm a business consultant. That's probably the easiest way to put it. And I've decided to explore this business opportunity as well, because I have so much. I was in the corporate world for almost 15 years. I have so much insight and intel into operations, sales, business growth, and just all of the areas that it takes to build a business. And I've been really lucky to work with some great people. And I guess that's where I'm like, I want to utilize a lot of what I've learned, but doing it in my own way. So Atria has been birthed from that. She's back. And I'm really excited to see where this goes. And so far, I'm really enjoying it. I'm working with some really incredible people, some really smart people, and I'm learning a lot of great stuff. So I feel like it's really raining here, by the way, so don't mind the rain ASMR. But so Atria's back, and I'm really excited about it, and I'm excited to see where it goes, because I do have goals and dreams of it moving towards other areas and seeing where it takes me. Basically, I've learned so much, even just working for Al, but also having started my own businesses in the past and then working for other businesses. I feel like I've learned so much about business, and business itself is one of my greatest passions. It is honestly the thing that I probably learn most about, and it's the thing that I'm constantly researching and learning, and I guess you could say the next level that I'm going towards is starting and scaling a successful business. So part of that. So I'm very excited to see where Atria takes me. And you know what? At the end of the day, it is also income. Sometimes we do just need an income. For me, I have focused on finding a way that feels really good still, that is purposeful and is contributing to the greater vision without it taking away. And I think that's maybe like one insight I do want to share. I have friends who don't love what they're doing and they're trying to move to something else. And I think what I've learned through this process of starting Atria back up, but also, and I have done career changes in the past, I feel it's so important to use what you've already got. It will make the gap so much less to be able to bridge towards what it is you want. Of course, if you want to go for the thing you want to go for, just go for it. For me right now, though, the money that I get as well from this 3 days a week, it's so incredibly helpful to the longer term vision of what Al and I are building. And it is contributing to what I'm trying to build longer term. So I guess what I'm trying to say is don't cast off, like I almost casted off insurance. I almost casted it off as like, I'm not going back into it. I'm not doing it again. But I've found a way to make it work for me for now and to explore that and see where it goes, and allowing myself to hone further skills and experience from that opportunity that has opened up, you know? So yeah, you never know where these things can come from. And that really did come randomly. I was looking for jobs. I was considering going back and working for somebody else. And I just started having conversations with my network, and quite a few people approached me and were like, hey, I've got this project that I need help with, or I've got this potential opportunity. Would you contract for me? And I was like, that makes so much sense. I'm going to contract. That way I am working for myself essentially. Of course, I am there working for the project. They are my client. So I have certain expectations and things that I need to meet, but it feels really good for me. I pretty much work on my own schedule, but I get things done, and yeah, it feels really purposeful. So that's the life update of, I guess, my income right now and my business. And from this place, I feel like now we're getting stable with income, things are starting to come together, and even just our daily routine, it's all starting to come together beautifully, and everything feels more grounded and regulated is the word I would use. And I feel from this place, there's just going to be so much more that comes because we're able to hold it all. We're able to feel grounded in what's coming towards us, and slowly, like, little things are already starting to come to place, just opportunities, conversations, things like that are slowly coming together. But I don't think this could have happened without, if we go back to after the cancer, where I did that life audit and I really sat there and thought, you know, what does my future look like? What do I need to do to get there? How do I get out of my own way? Who do I need to hire? Who do I need to work with in order to get out of my own way and get to this place? So, and I guess that is why I'm just so passionate about a life audit, because it really dials you into where is my life at, where am I going, and what do I need to do to get there? And then you could end up in Byron in this beautiful cottage living your best life. And I really truly am. I am not meaning to boast about that, but I guess I want to be evidence for somebody that, you know, 6 months ago but even before the cancer, I was like, what is my life? Like, I knew where I was going and I knew the things that I was working towards, but I was not happy. I was not fully fulfilled or content with where my life was at. And the thing is like, now I'm going towards these things. Now I'm still building, I'm still climbing, I'm still growing, but I still feel really content with where I'm at. It's like I have this sense of peace and gratefulness for where I'm at right now. And the things that I feel are coming from that place, it's just, yeah. And I really think it speaks to your daily practices. Like for me, meditation is a massive one. I'm a huge advocate for starting your day with being, and it might not be meditation for you, it could be anything. Even I've got my trampoline over there and I bounce on that for 2 minutes in the morning. First thing, I put on a song and I bounce on it. And it just puts me in the energy of what I'm calling in, which is more gratitude, more abundance, more passion, more joy. And so I'm an advocate for starting your day in the energy you are calling in, whether that is joy or whatever it is for you. For me, meditation really helps with that. But find your practices, find the thing that works for you. But it's why I'm such an advocate for your daily practices and how are they contributing to your future self? How are they contributing to the things that you are trying to build in your life? Because I truly do believe if you do a life audit, it's hard. A lot of shame comes up, a lot of realization and reflection of like, fuck, like even for Al and I with our money, we sat back, we up-leveled everything in our finances, and I will talk through eventually what that looked like. But we had to sit back and really reflect and go, we have some habits to change. We have some things that need to change. And it was quite a stark realization. It was really a moment of, and a lot of shame came up. We were like, oh my God, like, I can't believe we didn't realize this sooner, or we've just been so lenient, or whatever it was. We really had to sit in the shame of like, okay, it happened, it is what it is, and let's just move forward and change our behavior and change the things that we're doing. And that is what I will say if you do a life audit, there will be, I think, a lot of looking in the mirror and having that hard conversation with yourself of, this is what I want out of my life and how do I get there, but what is not serving me now? And I feel, if I was to say the last 6 months of what has actually gone down, it's been a massive shedding. It's been like a snake shedding all of its layers, and on the other side of it is more than I could have imagined, truly. And what I've detailed in this episode of like the life update, that's not even all of it. There is so much more that is coming, and I will share in time. But I think that it is so important to have that first step of auditing, then allowing the things to shed from your life, whether it is relationships that don't serve you anymore, whether it is habits that don't serve you anymore, mindsets, limiting beliefs, work with the therapist, work with the people that are going to help you to get here. And I get it, this stuff is expensive. And I do want to say here, Al and I, we were, like I said, we had financial instability. It was probably, I need to word this right. It was the perfect time for us to hire someone to help, but we had to hustle to make those funds available for paying for the things that we needed to do. But it is the best thing we could have done because it has helped us to get to where we are right now, which is so much of a better place. So I really do understand the feeling of like, I can't do this. How am I going to afford this? Like, that happened for us. You will make it work. You will find a way to make it work. And honestly, even though it can feel at the time like impossible, it's the best thing that you could do because, and I'm evidence, I'm on the other side of it now, and putting that extra effort in and just taking the step to put you and your life first like that. Honestly, I cannot tell you how much it pays off in the long run. It is truly an investment. And that is why we hired the coaches that we did, and we put the money towards the things we did, because we were like, we could probably do this ourselves with free things and we could almost struggle through it, or we could just hire the people that have the things that we want, have the mindsets we want, have overcome the things that we are going through, and just speed it up and invest that now, speed it up and get to where we want to go. And I can say on the other side of it, it was worth every penny. It was worth every bit of stress to make it work. And it was, at times it was stressful, but it's all worth it. That's what I'm trying to say. It's all worth it. So yeah, this has been quite a chatty episode, and it was really about giving a bit of a life update, and I feel like I've missed a million things. I won't lie to you, recording a podcast and trying to think about everything you want to convey and all of the information, I'm breaking the fourth wall right now, but it is difficult because you like want to convey all of what's inside of your head whilst still sounding coherent. So hopefully I've done a somewhat good job of that. And yeah, I guess the main things I wanted to highlight were how a life audit has changed our life, and then I guess giving you the evidence through the life update of where we're at and what we're doing. And yeah, life is still lifing. There are still things that we find challenging and that we're going through. It's not like we've gone through this period and then everything's perfect, but life is pretty freaking great, I'm not gonna lie. And 6 months ago I could not say that. 6 months ago life felt so chaotic, and of course it did. We just came out of cancer. We just came out of the most life-changing thing we've ever gone through, and on the other side it was like picking up the pieces of our life. It was like, okay, what just happened and where do we go? And so I'm very proud of us. I'm very grateful that we took that opportunity. Instead of going and just unconsciously going through our life, we decided to be really intentional and conscious and do the things that needed to be done then. And I guess that is my message for today. If you are somebody who has listened to this episode and you can resonate, you are not where you want to be, or you feel like you have more to give, do a life audit. Sit back, write out all of the areas of your life that are of importance to you and give them a rating out of 10. 1 to 10 or 0 to 10. Where are they at for you? Sit back and look at that and pick the areas that are not where you want them to be, that you are not happy with, and think about the things that you need to do in order to get clear. Journal about it. what in that area of life do I want, and where do I need to start in order to get there? And you can always reach out to me. I love having these conversations. It's in the name, Atria Services and Solutions. Solutions are my thing. I love coming up with solutions. So if you want somebody to talk to about these things, hit me up on Instagram, and I am always happy to help find the solution or the thing. And I truly am passionate when I say this, there is so much information and resource out there to get you to where you need to go. It really is just about you sitting back and going, am I going to do this? Am I going to take this step in my life? Am I going to answer the call and just go for it? And let me be evidence. You can do it. I can do it. You can do it. So anyway, I'm going to leave it there because this has been a fun, chatty episode, and I actually look forward to doing more of these, I guess, raw and off-script episodes. But there is more coming from Not By Chance this year. I am going to deep dive into all the areas of my life, and I guess that's why I haven't detailed specifically what I've done in these areas, because that is coming. Each episode, I'm going to do one about money, business, relationships, all of the things, health, all of the things that I am doing in my life and the wisdom that I have gained from my mentors that is really helping me to build the life of my dreams. And watch this space, watch guys, because I'm not just saying this arrogantly, but I know this is going to be an incredible ride. I know deep in my soul where I'm going. I know exactly what is coming for Al and I, and I guess it's why I am documenting a lot of this stuff, because I want to be evidence that if I can do it, you can do it as well. So yeah, watch this space, because it is this or something better always. Thank you so much for listening to today's episode. If you loved this episode, please share it with a loved one, and I would really appreciate it if you could leave a review and a comment. It really helps to support my podcast and get my message out there. You can find me on Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube at Alex Manstead. And one of my favorite things to do is have chats with people about life. Nothing is too big or too much, so please feel free to message me. I would love to hear from you. Until next time, dream big, love deeply, and live boldly.